Hello and welcome to what will be the last week of the Turnover NFL podcast, and it's Super Bowl week. I'm back alongside Kelvin, Reisenfeld as always.
Finally here.
Yeah.
19 long weeks, baby.
We've been ready to go for this. We'll get going. It's short and sweet. We'll start how we always start. What went right, what went wrong. What did you think about the Bucs last week against the Packers?
Oh, I loved that performance, huh, Kerstetter, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a
It was a great game. Great game to see. You know, Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. Obviously, it's always going to be a great game. The Buccaneers looked fantastic. That defense really looks good against one of the potent offense against the Packers, and kind of shut Devontae Adams down there a little bit. Aaron Jones really didn't have a great game. Their pass rush was really good. Shaq Barrett is leading the way right there. Jordan Whitehead, big turnovers for the Bucs that led to the Buccaneers' success again in that game. Tom Brady did his thing out there, and I loved it.
Yeah, the Bucs, they really stopped Rodgers in the second half. He was rolling. They forced 3 Tom Brady interceptions, which in my eyes, and I'm sure your eyes, it looked like the Packers were finally going to take over the game.
Yeah.
However, that Bucs defense, they really stepped up to the plate. They handled the situation well. They held the Packers to less than 70 yards rushing between 3 talented running backs.
Yeah.
Rodgers did still have 346 yards and 3 touchdowns, so that is something worth noting considering he's going to be going against an even more potent offense in Kansas City. However, I think the Bucs, when needed, they stepped up to the plate. They delivered. It was a one-score game for the longest time in the second half, and they held it that way.
How about that? I want to talk about really quick about that call in the end zone, or they opted to kick a field goal.
Matt LaFleur is very much a analytics guy, and sometimes it comes really through, like when you're down 14 points or 15 points, and instead of the second time you score a touchdown, the first time you go for 2.
Yeah.
Analytically, it says you're going to get it. He did that numerous times this year. It worked. He sticks with it. Sean McVay's another big analytics guy. I don't know if he would have done something similar or different because he's a little bit more aggressive. But sometimes the analytics pull through. Sometimes they don't. That's why even if it were to work 70% of the time, there's a 30% for a reason.
I hate the call, personally.
I do as well.
I hated it. I saw them bringing on the field goal unit, and I was like, you're giving the ball back to Tom Brady, saying defense, go ahead and stop Tom Brady, and we really haven't been able to do him that all game other than the 3 interceptions. Other than that, you have one of the best red zone offenses in the league. You have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, who, he had a little bit of a quieter game for him, but you still got to take that chance. If you're going to lose that game, you're going to lose that game with the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands, not in your kicker.
And Robert Tonyan was starting to heat up, so they had another tight end threat. I do agree. I'm just defending because I like analytics, but I would have gone for it.
You're a big numbers guy.
Yeah, I'm a big numbers guy, but I would have gone for it. Exactly like you said, Brady's been doing it for longer than anybody.
Right.
And why would you not trust Aaron Rodgers, who this year was the best quarterback in the league?
Absolutely. He should be MVP still of the regular. If we're talking regular season, yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on to Chiefs versus Bills. What do you got for that?
No, go ahead.
For this, the Chiefs held Allen to less than 300 yards, considering, especially in the second half of the season and the playoffs, the Bills were a very pass-heavy team. That is a great thing. However, Josh Allen did have 88 rushing yards.
True.
Something I will point out, though, is Tom Brady will not have 88 rushing yards.
Probably not.
So the Chiefs can withstand the pass. I think something that needs to be noted about this Chiefs team is I don't know if they're underrated, but we really aren't talking about them enough because when you talk about the top 5 defenses, you're talking about the Rams, Steelers, Ravens. You're not talking about the Chiefs. However, no matter who you put in front of the Chiefs, their defense has been stopping everybody.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I would 100% agree with that. That defense is way underrated. Frank Clark gets the quarterback like it's nothing. They obviously
Matthews, ridiculous.
Exactly. They shut down one of the most explosive offenses we've seen all season.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs only had 46 yards and 6 receptions.
That's enough said right there.
Right. And he was, prior to that, I think he had past 6 games, he was well over 100 yards with 7+ receptions.
Franchise leader in his first year in receptions and yards.
And I mean, the Chiefs, we all know about their offense. Obviously, that's not being undermined here at all. But their defense definitely stepped up to the plate against that Bills team and soundly beat them. That game was never really in question if the Chiefs were going to lose that game.
Yeah, they fell down a little bit early, but then Chiefs just did what they do. They just went out there, they won that game. I think that this Chiefs team is one of the most complete teams we've seen since the 16-0 Patriots.
100%.
And the games they lost this year, one was, against the Raiders. Yeah, sure, the Raiders beat them. I don't think it was that much. They played that game 10 times. The Chiefs probably win 8.
Yeah.
Then they lost the last game of the season when they rested everybody. I think that this Chiefs team is almost as complete as it gets.
Honestly, losing that game could come back to just be a great thing for them. They got that. We talked about that week that they lost, and it was like now the undefeated's out of the way. They didn't have to worry about it. Like I feel like that pressure is always there.
Let's play our game.
Let's play our game, and they have been. And so I guess like for me, like what do you think the weakest point of this Chiefs team is? What is their weak spot?
Their rush defense is a bit weak. We haven't been able to see it really with the Bills. They were able to stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, though.
Yeah.
So even that just goes to show what they can have. They got to get playoff Lenny going. They got to get Rojo going in terms of the Bucs for this game. I think if they can get a run game going, it won't put as much pressure on Brady.
Absolutely.
Not saying he's not going to embrace the pressure. However, he had 3 interceptions in, 4 drives last week?
Yeah, and I mean, one of them he got hit when he threw it down. Going deep down the field, it might as well have been a punt. I mean, yeah, he probably could have gotten a couple extra yards out of a punt, so I guess that doesn't really hurt them that much. But yeah, the other two, you can't have 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl and expect to win. So that can't happen.
Not against this Chiefs team.
No.
You can't be giving that team this many points. I mean, the Chiefs' running game, it's not even that strong. I mean,
Right.
It complements what they're trying to do. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just going to get better each season, each week.
Right.
So he's going to be doing that. Le'Veon Bell is that veteran mindset there. They've now got Darrell Williams, and next year they'll have Damian Williams back. Le'Veon's probably walking, so he probably knows that. He's going to be walking.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get his check and head out.
Yeah, he's going to – we'll see what he ends up doing, where he ends up going, but I think he's doing what he's doing this year for the ring, for the chase. But that's just where I think that the Chiefs lie. What do you think is possibly a point they could exploit in terms of the Bucs?
In terms of the Bucs, I mean, like you pretty much summed it up well. If they can stop the run and not have any play action have to worry about with Brady, they could really put a lot of pressure on him. And Brady, I don't know, like all season long, especially in the playoffs, every time that he's been pressured, he really just kind of throws the ball away. And he doesn't want to take the hit. Obviously, he's 43 years old, but I think he's going to step to the plate, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do and how he's going to be able to intelligently play against this Chiefs defense and see what they're going to bring.
If there's anybody that you want to do it,
Tom Brady.
Got to be TB12. So we'll get right into the predictions. I'm as excited as you could be.
Yeah.
You got somebody who is the GOAT, and you got somebody who, give it a few years, will probably be considered the greatest talent of all time.
I mean, yeah, he's already in that conversation. Like young talents, for sure.
Yeah. So this is going to be, is it the passing of the crown? Is Brady like, slow down there, young one? So I think it's going to be great. So far this postseason, Mahomes has 585 yards. Reminder, they played 2 games. 585 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the last time they played, he had 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the Bucs. Brady has 860 yards in 3 games, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And the last time they played, he had 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Chiefs are 1-3 the last 3 they've played against the Bucs. However, they won this year. They hadn't played for a few years prior to this year. Who you got?
TB12 and the Buccaneers, baby. That's what I'm going for. I think that this is going to be the last championship team that Brady will see in the Super Bowl. I think this is his last chance to win another ring, going to get that lucky number 7, and he's going to tell Patrick Mahomes that it's not his time yet, but Patrick Mahomes next season or the year after, this Chiefs team will win another ring as long as everybody stays healthy and everything like that. You kind of hit on some points about the last time they played. And the biggest thing that stood out to me was Gronkowski actually had a huge game. He had 6 receptions and 106 yards. Mike Evans also had 2 touchdowns, and Ronald Jones had a touchdown. The rushing game, they only had 76 yards total rushing last time they played, so we kind of hit on that already. The Chiefs, if they can maintain their run game, it really takes out the receiving threat of this team. Also, Antonio Brown was not in this game when they played.
Still suspended.
Right. So I think that's just going to add another weapon for Tom Brady to look for downfield. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady. I do think, if I was objectively speaking, which I don't know, I think that the Chiefs are going to win this game.
They're favored by 3.5.
I'm taking the Bucs.
Yeah.
Taking the Bucs, hammering it to the bank. That guy, we saw somebody earlier dropped, $3.45 million on that spread.
He's known for taking massive bets. He put $3.45 million on the Bucs spread.
Be nice to have that sock money laying around.
Yeah, right. Pocket change to that, man. Personally, I'm taking the Chiefs. Yeah. I feel like it would be kind of criminal for me to have them as my preseason Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Or not. This will be the first and probably the last time I'd say I wouldn't mind seeing Brady win this. I think this is kind of one of those moments like Jordan in his 6th finals,
right,
where you are watching history, something that if it happens again, it's going to
Just on a
be
new
this
team.
feeling right here.
Yeah.
I would not mind them winning. The Chiefs, they do annoy me because of how good they are. I'm
Yeah.
sure next year I will not pick them or by any means just in spite of them. But I'm taking the Chiefs. I think this is, as I said, the most complete team we've seen since the 16-0 Pats. I might even claim them to be better. I think they have a better receiving core.
Yeah.
The Patriots defense at the time was probably better than the Chiefs. However, that's not even.
You think the Chiefs have a better receiving core than the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I'd say that this is one of the best receiving cores we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
In terms of speed, the slowest 40-yard time's a 4.4.
Right.
And that's Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and that's also like the leading receiving yards in the league isn't even a wide receiver on that team. It's a tight end and Travis Kelce.
Then you got Tyreek Hill, who we already know is, he's got field tilting speed.
They can run a jet sweep every play to him and get 5 yards out of it each play.
It's either going to be 5 or 50.
Right.
Nobody's going to be able to keep up with him. Something I think that is worth noting that we haven't brought up is Mike Evans last week. He did not play that well against the Packers. In fact, a couple of his interceptions, one was he lost it in the air, easily picked off by Jair Alexander. He deflected one that was deep, that went right into the safety's hands, whoever, I can't think of his name. Mike Evans needs to clean it up a bit. Maybe it was the cold. He was one of those guys we talked about that's not used to playing in January, in Lambeau, in cold, whatever. They're going back to Tampa.
Yeah.
I think that's worth noting as well.
Huge. The first time ever home Super Bowl team. And, I mean, that stadium. I don't know about the capacity and everything. I know it's supposed to be limited. They're going to be letting more people in that game.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I mean, I hope the NFL and protocol, everything is still like everybody's staying safe, wearing a mask, and all the mandates there. But it's going to be tough with this caliber of a game.
They're going to be right at the limit.
They're going to be right at the limit. But all that aside, I love that Tom Brady was able to go to Lambeau, win in the cold, and if he can win there, I think he can beat any team at home in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I really am excited for this game. This is a Bucs team that I thought would finish about how they did. Wild card, I thought the Saints would win, and I didn't think they'd make it this far. I thought they'd get hotter throughout the season,
right?
Just because as they gelled, but I really didn't think they were a Super Bowl team. The weather is supposed to be 75 degrees, 75% chance of rain.
Oh, okay. That's big. If it's a rainy day, it's going to be tough to throw the ball, obviously, but, if anybody's, like we said, if anybody's going to adapt to weather, it's going to be Tom Brady. But this Chiefs team has so many weapons that they can utilize, and Andy Reid's going to be pulling some trick plays when they get into the red zone. Something crazy is going to happen. I don't know if they're probably going to throw the ball to Mahomes or something in the end zone. I can see like Travis Kelce throwing a touchdown pass to Mahomes.
The KC special?
Yeah, just because, or like the Philly.
Yeah. But this Kansas City team, Kansas City doesn't have the greatest weather either, so I think the weather doesn't even play a factor into this. It just changes the game scheme a little bit for both teams. I'm personally really excited about it.
What do you think the final score of this game is going to be? Like if you had to guess.
31-27.
And to the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think they're going to cover?
That is covering. 4 points. 3.5 is the spread.
Right. Oh, I got you. You're taking the Chiefs. I got you.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I honestly, I mentioned to you last night, and I'm kind of nervous about this game because it kind of reminds me of when the Denver Broncos got blown out by the Seattle Seahawks. And I don't know, it was like Peyton Manning's like last year. It was kind of like the Russell Wilson, the Patrick Mahomes, the Peyton Manning, the Tom Brady.
That wasn't Peyton Manning's last year. His last year was when they blew out the Panthers.
Oh, right. Yes, when the Panthers were undefeated that year.
Yeah, 15-1.
Yeah, 15-1.
But that was number one offense versus number one defense. I mean, the Bucs have a top 5 defense, but I wouldn't put them at number 1.
Yeah.
The Chiefs probably, even if their numbers aren't there, because I'm pretty sure the Packers had the number 1 offense this year, I still think their offense is number 1.
Right.
Overall.
Notable injury, too, on the Buccaneers defense is Jordan Whitehead, who forced 2 fumbles last week, is now out. Against Aaron Jones, too, who's not somebody who really fumbles the ball a whole lot.
And they shut him down last week.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I know you are,
It's going to be a great game.
Special thanks to everybody who stuck with us this year.
Absolutely.
Tuned in. We had a great time. We hope you guys liked listening to us.
Yeah, shout out to AJ behind the scenes. He's been the man.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, AJ, for giving us the opportunity and everything. We'll catch you guys later.
enjoy the football.
UFTV is your university and community TV station.